This podcast episode is brought to you by Ethiopia Life Herb House, where cannabis and culture combine for a one-of-a-kind experience. Visit them at 10A West Kings House Road, just across from the Canadian Embassy. Also follow them on IG at Ethiopia Life or visit their webpage at ethiopialife.com for the latest info on strains and merch. This podcast is also brought to you by
Lothian's Boutique. Follow them on Instagram at Lothian's Boutique, and you can use my code Ariane10 to get 10% off your next bundle purchase. And of course, you can check them out at 23 West Tradeway in Portmore.
Big ups to Shortcut Barbers, located at 9 Brunstrath Square for the sharpest of cuts. Shing. Hit up Shortcut Barbers. Shout out the whole of the barber them up there. Of course, you don't know, say from you mention my name and say Naro send you get a 5% discount off your next cut. Alright, big up Shortcut Barbers. Go follow Steve on Instagram right there. Also, we have to say big up to our patrons, DB, Tamo Good. If you want to become a patron, it's very easy. You can just go over to patreon.com/fixja. There, when you support us, you get access to bonus content, exclusive content, first access to content before posting to the main channel on YouTube. Just hit up patreon.com/thefixja. And of course, the merch page, people get that black tee with the white logo, the blue tee with the faded logo, the Fix mask, and the Fix mug, and the Fix Things merch. I think we might do a new merch.
Yay!
For Ari, maybe. One that says, I don't hate it. Maybe. But if it does land, you can find it at teespring.com
/
stores
/
the Fix JA. I remember what you said around the time when the dubs, the political dubs, did a rule the time. And you were speaking out basically against the artists that just give them dubs free. Well, not freely. I'm sure it came at a price. But give the dubs them to a party without supporting their policy or without endorsing a certain policy. You're of the thought that they should endorse who them have some sort of agreement with in terms of their policy and what they're willing to do for people. What did people say when you put out that thought?
I mean, different people have different opinion. Some people train for just disagree with me. Like yo, anything you say, no. You understand? And then equally have some people train to agree with me. That's one of the things when you are far either right or far left. You know what I mean? But entertainment is a service. So you have goods and service, right? So goods is tangible and entertainment is intangible. So you can't really hold a song, you understand?
I remember that in class.
Right. So what happened? One of the characteristics of a service is inseparability. So like I make eggs, for example. That's not a service, that's a product. I can separate myself from the product. You see it on the shelf, you don't see me. However, with the song come with the artist. So therefore, when the artist is willing to give a song, he's also giving himself because it's inseparable. While if JLP come to me for some eggs, it is separable. I'm do a tear off my logo and say, see the egg them there, right? So therefore, when you make a dub, you cannot separate yourself from the dub because that is a characteristics of that service, of inseparability. So you say Bounty make a dub, it's not just a song. It is Bounty song. Now, if Grace give mackerel, you don't say Dan Webby give mackerel. You understand? Because there's a separation between that tangible product and the person who
it's curious that you should say that and then be of the mindset that dancehall doesn't influence violence. At least violence. Because as I say, the song comes with the artist. Them kind of inseparable.
Right, yes.
So you do understand what that, at least the small spat, at least verbal clashing that you have with Vegas. You did understand what you were saying.
No, I mean Vegas makes some good points, and you say that if the answer was clear cut, we'd have all had the answer.
True.
So I mean, so what me I do now is to say, all right, where do I fall on the scale? It's not 0 or 1. Because some days me I meds and I say, but what if? You understand? But what I depend on as an academic is science, is research, right?
Facts.
And so it's facts. So what happened is that they're saying that it influence, right? And they think that influence stops there. Now, if it influenced to cause, then it's causal. It's a causation. So if it can influence which gun you buy now, but you are already planning to kill. You You understand? So what's the level of influence? Is an important discussion to have, and that's why
I think it is.
I am
even
having
though
it.
we have grown tired.
Right.
of
So
it over
when you check it out,
the
now, you
months.
see me a debate with Sir P. I mean, there's levels to this, but me just feel says a debate what we have to have, and I mean, in the parliament, I'm not debate it. Why we have to have it? If we don't know the cause of crime, then how are we going to solve it? You understand? If sugar make the drink sweet, then put in less sugar if you want it fresh, but we know what caused it to be sweet. So it's an important debate to have. So what may I say to them is simply this: if there's a causal relationship through its influence, right? So what they call it now is a moderating variable. So if dancehall influence you to be in a mood, and then that mood cause crime, dancehall is a causal thing. Yeah, you understand? Now there's two rules of causation. It must have direct relationship, meaning if guns and go up, crime must go up. If guns and go down, crime must go down. We don't see that. And it must have majority outcome. The majority of times that it is exposed to the person, they should become criminals. Now, the reality is that if you give every crime to a different murderer, so him do one murder and him retire, we have 1,700 murderer. If you just look on the mites, because we have 1,700 murder. Right? 10 man can't murder 1 man. Somebody did the murder. So if you really meds it out, if a million are we listening to only 1,700 are we murder people, something kind of wrong with it. It's not a causal variable.
Yeah.
Because that is the rule of causality. You understand? So yeah, when we meds it out, I mean the gut feeling, and a lot of times the gut tell you that it's so, but it's not so. The gut feeling suggests to me say maybe it is so, but the science suggests to me that it is not so.
But I mean, we've said that maybe it's not a causation, but a correlation. Could that be a summarization?
But ice cream make people drown. That's a correlation too. You understand?
What?
Ice cream make people drunk?
Yeah, drown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, ice cream drown people?
Yeah.
I know this is a weird analogy.
yeah,
That's a weird.
But that's the
Yeah.
fallacy of
It's
correlation.
the ice cream on my mind.
All right,
Just
so
go.
no, yeah, you say you don't care about the next part. No, all right. So the scientists in England,
Some would be nice now.
the scientists in England,
Aroma
he
raisin,
found
whatever.
that as ice cream consumption increased, yeah, me or what I say, aroma raisin, a different level she never right now. So,
Oh, God.
the scientist in England, he said that there was a correlation, means that there is a relationship between the consumption of ice cream and drowning in the sea. So what he found is that as ice cream consumption increase, drowning also increase, right? However, the summer was a shared variable. So what happened is that during the summer, people eat more ice cream, and during the summer, people went to the beach. So you can actually argue that ice cream saved people from drowning. Because if it don't cool off by the ice cream, you might not have gone to the beach. And that is what I believe we're finding a problem with. In Jamaica, there's something where cause people to sing gun song, and there's something cause people to be murderous. And that variable which is shared is what we need to find. You understand? Because
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Right, yeah.
I get what you're saying, because I'm like, wait.
How
does that work?
Right. So there's a shared variable which is the
Okay.
heat of summer. Where
Yeah.
make people eat ice cream and ice cream. So when you look at it just on the maths, 10 gallon of ice cream consume 6 people drown. But it's the heat make man eat more ice cream, and the heat make man go more beach. So it is going to the beach that is the problem. You understand? So lack of exposure might be because how much things I gonna sing about other than what you know about. And if them not really get a whole heap of reading, like Cartel will tell us him read a lot. So you see him just step and be different things and be different rhymes. So if you only know cat, rat, and mat, that's the only rhyme you're gonna have. So there's a variable that is shared that we need to be looking for, but we seem to be willing to just quickly jump to that, and that's what I'm against.
And that's fair, and we have expressed that as well when it's the quickest thing to point the finger. I
Right.
believe that it is lazy to point the finger solely at dancehall for the ills of society in regards to crime.
True.
That I agree with, but we cannot just dismiss it that it isn't something to be considered, that
Right.
the violent
You have to
music
consider everything.
influences what's been happening in the country.
As I said,
Because you say lack of exposure, I think is probably an overexposure to crime and violence. You know, like and it's almost like become numb to it. So it's like when things happen, just like it's just another day,
You
and I
know,
think that's one of the reasons
violence
why.
is one of the most consumed aspect of entertainment globally, not just in Jamaica.
True, because
I mean,
people use the
gun shows are
entertainment,
more
right?
popular
Movie.
than comedies.
Movies.
You understand? So when people talk about Avengers and them things, they're be dead and boom and all them things in Avengers. You
First
might
of
not
all-
perceive it in the same way.
First of all, Mr. Crawford, we suspend disbelief when we see Tony Stark.
Only for suspension this
Yeah.
I know Falcon is like to your left.
Yeah.
So violence is highly consumed.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
historically, we talk about from Aristotle days and Pluto days, right? Them man they say, yo, maybe those who cannot participate in violence seek that escape in the consumption of the media. You understand? Like me, not a violent person. If a man really come with a gun, me go run. But in the media now, me I listen to the baddest song, so maybe I seek refuge, right? So basically,
Escapism.
right. You know where you're going with. I know you're teaching. So there are different theories on this thing.
Yeah.
You pre where me I come from. So what me I say is, with I'm a call Vegas, you know, me and him a reason and thing, right? And me I say, yo, no, yes, and it was a good conversation. So there are some aspects of Vegas' opinion that I find to be correct in my opinion. I'm saying when I put all these arguments together, I don't believe that it's true. But it is risky for the Prime Minister to be saying it because dancehall is the last avenue for the poor to become wealthy. You used to have Higla, but the Chinese them take with that now. You used to have taxi, but the law has taken that away. You used to have craft in a tourism, but the Indians with the inbound stores have taken that away. So really, the last avenue for a man were broke, like a bounty where used to sell figurine, or a bean man used to lift up box, or a cartel where used to just broke. How much other industries you see and make poor people rich?
Well, there's sports as well.
And sports,
entertainment, by extension,
right. But of course, sports is a minimal amount. It's just the star. So you see, sports boss both.
You have exceptional
right. You have
wealth,
150 or 20. So really, what you look upon as a government, as a policy maker, is what can boss enough people. And so when me comes to now I hear a prime minister say it is associated with crime, it's putting a negative attitude to it. That if I had a brand. And this is with crime. If Disney, which I work with Shaggy now, Disney no one here say, yo, your thing and create crime. Grace Kennedy no one here say, yo, me I got associate with something I create. Not even Red Stripe no one to hear that. So if you belittle it, just keep beating it, you kill it. And by killing it, you take away the last avenue. You understand?
Wouldn't you say that there would be people who argue that yes, there have been instances where it seems like he's belittling it, but then with the usage of the dub plates and several other instances throughout his political career where he has seemingly endorsed dancehall, and that his thing is that the abundance of violent lyrics is what he's really speaking out
on.
No, but the dub plate
against.
that he had was a violent lyrics. His name bro got come from a violent lyrics. Because the man say if this and my friend then when him bro got is gonna be down. So I mean, listen, politics is people use things all the time. You understand?
Okay.
I mean, I use some Vuvuzela. I'm not a supporter of Vuvuzela. It actually get on my nerves, but people like it, so I'm gonna give them it. The age group of those who are voting likes cool people. And he felt that it was good to be cool. He's a totally different person than what he was 10 years ago. You understand? So, I mean, support don't really come from just saying I use it or that I have a dub plate. You know what I mean? Bunting had a dub plate. He was the one that moved the first thing about anti-gang for lack of artists if they had guns on. You understand? So, I mean, a dub plate is not sufficient.
Well, I was just saying that, you know, because as Nara rightly pointed out, that it's not that the overall genre itself is bad, and I don't think that's what he's saying, and I think he come on and said that is not the genre itself that he's trying to kill, as he put it, or put down, but is this specific subsect in the genre that is like violent and is promoting and just casually
Because if Disney
promoting
was to
violent
look at
lyrics.
Shaggy,
Yeah.
if Shaggy's catalog was filled with them type of song, I'm sure them wouldn't be working with Shaggy.
And
But
then
look at Shaggy as the individual, as the brand.
Yeah, and I mean, even so with brands in and of itself, like it pick and choose, because you know hip hop was once the subgenre, but no, you know, most
mainstream now.
Yeah, it's mainstream.
Yeah,
Like
pretty
if
much pop
your
music,
brand want to get forward, or you know, even if
No.
your song is as a pop song, you want to get it bigger, you have a you link up with a
Like we
with a
put
hip hop
it
person.
into-
I always try to use foreign people are complaining something is foreign
Well, we could put it into
analogy, but I'm just saying, like, it's just the subsect of it that
Alright,
he's
so
definitely pointed
the
out.
day that he was speaking was after the girl was murdered in
Canis
right,
Jackson.
right, in Portmore. Now again, dancehall is anti-murdering of women. In fact, dancehall constantly speak against murdering women. In fact, the same afternoon, Popcorn was on the thing saying, yo, who murder a woman for dead? Dancehall is anti-rape. Right? So therefore, how is it then in that presentation you're speaking to the impact of dancehall when the actual case, dancehall is anti those things? You understand? So every
I mean,
I've never heard a man say go and rape. I say burn a fire upon a rape. That's what I've heard.
Well,
I've never heard a man say, yo, beat up a woman and kill them. So I'm saying those concepts are not within the space.
Yeah, try to say Ernst.
no, because I mean, I can point to several, well, a few songs that actually be like, rather turn up, rape up before me turn up at him and shout out to potential kid.
but now, I mean,
like, so again, it's just one-off songs,
but
and like,
you
me
made the
kill,
point.
like, kill boy in front of me one mother, yeah, kill everybody, and I've heard that before, like, them a kill everybody, and everybody, including
And
man,
mother
woman,
to the
and child.
and the moral,
Yes, so-
the moral question is, do I like it? That's a moral, personal question. The policy question is, does it lead to a social negative? And I'm saying science suggests no. So what we're using is a moral compass to say, I don't like it. And by extension to say, yo, it must done. That's not sufficient. That's not sufficient.
I can understand, because we kind of reach that place now where, at least me, where me say, yo, my energy, my spirit, not really take to them songs right now, and it's kind of because of what I see going on in society. Somebody just take a personal stand, say, hey, I'm not feed my spirit on them type of song there. Whoever want to listen to, what them want to listen to, cool, fine. We must know the effect it have on uno. You see me? But I just like to think that the artists themselves, who young people see as role models, would take a bit more responsibility and see that they do hold some power in determining how things shift in the culture, in society. Because whenever things go right now, that's when they say, yeah, no, see, oh, dancehall do this and music do that. But whenever things go bad now and their songs are littered, literally littered with whole heap of violent music, they say,
Lyrics.
we not nothing to do with that.
Right.
Yeah,
So their opinion is hypocritical, but it don't mean that any side is correct. So what you're saying is, if when it good you say yes and when it bad you say no, you're a hypocrite. But it don't mean that you're correct when you say it was good. You understand, the influence wasn't there. Now, when I look upon it is a simple reality. I'd be very confused by Bounty Killer who said book one time and then say anytime I'm hungry again, I go see me 9, if he had that direct influence. Because I go book and then 9 and then I'd be crazy. So the reality is that because they don't sing only one type of song,
Right.
you understand? Then how? But I mean, I am now, as I say, I don't like the current ones as much. Because one, it even more graphic in
It
them not
is.
really I use no metaphors and no simile and all of those
Because you
things.
know what I point to, not to cut him, Senator, because I say even Damion Marley, Welcome to Jamrock. That song is a bad man song, but it's not in about like glorifying. It's not about promoting. It's really just a
Wagwan.
depiction of what's happening in a specific community. And I'm like, even the Bounty Killer song, like I recently me find out say it was a song that was banned, because me I say, how can anyone ban that song? Like, it's a song, because it's a song that
Well,
really
him say
was,
if I'm hungry, I go see my 9.
yeah, but depicting the realities of what happened.
But if
it's,
him that influential, when you're hungry, you might have take up a 9.
but then again, right, maybe it's influential, but it's just, but the song itself and the context of the song was just depicting a person who is in this, I guess, way to call it now, like a very depressed situation, and every avenue that them choosing, but then the only available option to them to get something is to shoot somebody and kill them for them things. So I'm just saying is the context, and I was saying, like, if we could appreciate artists who, even their persona, can you say, the inserviceable and incomparable thing. I wanted to go back to that because artists, right, they want to say that no, it's Ari. versus Aryan. You know, like they want to separate themselves from their art, and they love for us to do that as well. So
It's like an alter ego.
yeah, so like don't really blame me. It's not me do it. It's not me shoot the person, you know.
We
It's-
just a sing song.
exactly.
No, but again,
and you're saying, and you
No,
rightly
no,
said
yeah,
that it's
yeah.
hard to it's
All
hard
right.
to separate
It's
them,
hard
but that's
to-
what
right,
they'd want
yeah,
us
it's
to do.
inseparable. So-
But then I'm saying, why can't they? If they do something, like even if them sing the song, you know, because trust me, we just a laugh and I say, why them bad man song and them song about
So and so
crime is better than when them a sing Kumbaya. It catchier, it full of more, you know, it more effort seem to go into those songs versus the positive song.
Can an actor come in different types of movies?
Yes, of course.
Right, like for example, you have Keanu Reeves or any one of them can come in a gun show
Tom
today,
Cruise.
and come in a comedy tomorrow, and in a romantic show the next day. Now, why we don't put that same stain on that person?
I'm glad that you brought that
Now,
up.
You have the artist, right, who I say is inseparable. So therefore, he is with the song. If the artist himself is a person where you want be like, you understand? Then you should sing too, because we don't have much evidence that he killed. And when people say, oh, we have cartel, we have that, if you really count it up, we don't have 10 or 15. You understand? We have a same amount of pastors who have gone to prison, etc., etc. So if cartel is influential,
Is that a factual statement?
yeah, man, you have whole heap of pastors who got prison.
No, I know that, but you said the same amount.
No, may I say more. I go further than the same amount. You gotta have more.
That
But
my
what-
question, if
no,
that
what
is
may I say
factual.
is, no, because it's not exposed. You see, in the compound radio, because it's not popular.
Yeah.
The compound TV, because it's not popular. But
But,
almost,
but what them I do? Like thief, money, or rape?
you have all different
Molest?
kind of different things. What I'm saying is,
I don't know if popular enough to expose these
if-
pastors.
if you can get it, if cartel
Same
as a
with the artist.
person, right, is a role model to the point that I want to do what he does. You understand? Then having gone to the point of being charged for murder, then transitions that from just the song to the act. You understand? But most, in fact, all people know, 90% of who are sing about gun song. I mean, I say bounty now every minute I say, yo, put on gun and put on this. I'm still like sing a gun song tomorrow. You understand? So 90% of them are not doing the act. So if I you rate me, and me
I
do.
don't know about these percentages, but okay.
No, I'm just saying. But what you have now is a proxy. So if he's charged, I use that as a proxy.
Yeah.
So if he's not charged, it's unfair to assume that he has done it. You understand? I've not heard
Okay.
that he's charged.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Right. So therefore, I use that as a proxy of their involvement.
Right.
So I'm saying that if somebody rate me and me go in a goat, he might want to go in a goat too, because of my influence of him, not because of my speech, but my personal direct influence of him in my action.
And that's one of the things that I was trying to bring up to is like, you know, they want us to separate them from them artistry. And I'm saying most of these artists, if we could see their actual positive influence in the community.
We're gonna see it.
Exactly.
Yaksta make people a fan?
Well, you know what? I'm not sure. I can't
We're
speak
not
on
sure
that
about
yet.
influence. We don't know the influence on that yet.
But I definitely see
more
where-
introduce kids to want to
to-
farm
yeah.
and to think that's cool.
me a
And then
farmer,
you know
me
the
really
whole
say,
the whole
listen to what
perspective.
everybody come-
And but the thing is,
I've
the
been
perspective
seeing
is
more articles
changing.
about women actually
That
going
is
into
true.
the industry, like
Yeah.
doing farming.
You see,
And
Whatever
the
have-
perspective is changing, but I'm just saying like why we need to see more of the artists doing positive things
And let's
and being a positive role model in it,
You're
and then
right.
it'd be easier for us to separate it and say, oh, it's just the persona.
Yeah.
because you know why
that's
it's hard? Because as you mentioned the actor point, yeah, them acting a gun show. Yeah, them acting all type of other show. It's few and far between we hear them actually in the news for shooting somebody or being involved in violent crimes or
Yeah.
getting caught with illegal guns. Almost every other month we see an artist involved in them. Something they hear news about them
Illegal
have them
firearm.
gun, their firearm, this, that. So it's like it's hard to do that separation with these artists when we know that them involved in some fuck.
We don't have many role models, in particular male role models. And so more and more you want those males who are known to the public to act in ways. Like how you say Vegas get him degree.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I rate that. You understand? But Vegas did also sing all gangster youth on the phone and guns eye. I mean, here comes the boom. But I'm saying the song is less impactful than the act. of going and get his degree. If a man rate Vegas, the act will be of greater influence. So I am concerned that more influential people who got their influence through dancehall is doing the act of criminality. And by extension, their influence, or the person who wants to be what we call an aspirational group, you want to be like them, that act is more impactful than the song. You understand? So therefore, what we need to do is to encourage that those who have influence, including me, 'cause if me decides me I go become criminal, whoever rate me, see that action. Also,
I say, see, time's hard enough.
And say, yo, if even the boss gonna do that, you understand?
It's over from
You're
here.
no Robbie Rose.
Build a full book, pack a skill and burn some cold too. Yeah, go coach and go take a loan now. So put a vaccine on the road, bro. Myself in your hood too. Yeah, because me supposed to. Yeah,
And I leave you. Tell you from the start before me buy the vehicle. Never love me for the money, I go ill treat you. Yeah, we cuss, yeah, we fight, but me nah live. If I bring my first youth, yeah, me want breed you.
Girl is phenomenal. Have a catty up on Mars, interstellar orbital. Pretty like a Barbie doll, pretty thing logical. Man a real band star, call me celestial dog. Dog, girl is over, girl king dog. We never care, malice no.
tyranny against humanity, freaking insanity. Who write the rules, who write the policy? Tell me why me can't go outside. Lockdown from east side to south side.